Please stop overreacting. And if you're not overreacting already, it's not worth it. VoyageFair from Virgin Voyages is going to be an amazing option for all sailors. And it is already an amazing option as of October 7th. And in this video, I'm going to talk about everything VoyageFair and how it can work best for you and your planning for your first or next Virgin voyage. I'm CamJon DeJong. I'm managing partner at CamJon Travel, a gold tier first mate with Virgin Voyages. That's all we focus on in the world of ocean cruising is Virgin Voyages. And I'm here for you if there's anything you ever need in planning your first or next Virgin voyage. So VoyageFair, what is it and how does it compare? And is it so bad? Is it insane? And is insane a good thing or a bad thing? And I would argue in this video that insane is a good thing because of the choices you get. But I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the elephant in the room of gratuity a bit in this video too, because I think it is so very important to understand how that works with Virgin Voyages and how my sailors are taking advantage of these new programs. And let's start by looking at this cruise here. That's the Resilient Caribbean sailing coming up on December 20th of 2025. So if you're seeing this video before then, come join us. We're going to be on board celebrating the Christmas holidays on board Resilient Lady. So in this case, you're going to come down to Sea Terrace. So this is where it's impactful at. It's going to be the Sea Terrace or lower level. So I've already gone to the Sea Terrace page, and you can see on this page, we have a Sea Terrace lock-it-in rate. Lock-it-in rates are comparable to the base rate, except the lock-in rate means that you cannot choose your cabin when booking. It's chosen by Virgin Voyages somewhere in the Sea Terrace category up until the time of sailing. With the new base rate, which we're going to go into here by clicking on Sea Terrace, you're going to see some of the new changes with VoyageFair. And I'll say right off the bat, with the lock-it-in rate and with the base fare, our agency requires a waiver to be signed by all sailors who wish to choose this. And I will say that I have had no sailor select a lock-it-in rate or a base rate because I explain and I want you to understand the risk with this. And I'll start it with a story. And this story is not related to Virgin Voyages at all. Virgin is a wonderful company, and they take care of their sailors and they take care of their team and the first mates. And it's nothing against them, but it's from quite some time ago when my grandparents had booked a cruise on another cruise line, of course. Virgin wasn't quite born yet. And they had, unfortunately, my grandfather passed away unexpectedly. The cruise line would do absolutely nothing for my grandmother, no name changes, no nothing because of this, unfortunately. And they were out that cruise. This is comparable in the sense that you can't change names, you can't change dates, you can't get refunds, you can, in this case at a base fare, choose your cabin, but within the up to 7 days before sailing, Virgin has a right to change your cabin. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to change you from a Sea Terrace to an Insider, and it doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to take you from amazing deck 10 or 11 to deck 8 to a restricted view. It doesn't mean that, but it does mean your cabin location can change. And I know that my sailors want to have a sense of security with their cabin placement. And again, anything can change at any time. There could be construction happening or some refurbishments happening that can cause a cabin to not be available when you board. That can happen with in any fare, and that's in the terms and conditions. But in this case, it's more likely to happen because of a variety of things. So, being all of that said, you really kind of put yourself into a corner. Not only that, booking dining, you can only book dining 15 days before sailing. So you're going to have Rockstar that can book 120 days out. You're going to have Premium Sea Terrace that can book 60 days out. And then you're going to have Essential Sea Terrace that can book 45 days out, leaving the base rate 15 days out to book dining. Does that mean you're not going to have a space to eat dinner? Absolutely not. It does not mean that at all. And don't listen to scare tactics about that. If you want to be scared of it, of this fare, be scared of it based on the fact that you're not going to be able to get a refund and you're not going to be able to resell it and change names to anybody if you can't go. That's what I would fear. I wouldn't fear the dining part, but you're going to have less likely opportunity to get that dining time and date and restaurants that you want to have than you would have with the Essential, especially the Premium, and of course the Rockstar quarters. So I would push anybody away from base. In fact, again, you'd want to have to, or you might not want to, but I would require you to sign a waiver, or we would likely choose not to work with you on the base rate because it's too risky for us and too risky for you. We don't want that for you. And look at the difference here in this one. And every sailing is going to be a bit different, but you're looking at 3,078 for base versus 3,220 for Essential. And at that rate, you're looking at just over 150, around $150 difference in price. Save that extra $150. If you can't do it yet, save up and choose a different sailing. Skip that coffee a day. That second cup of coffee at Starbucks. Do a little bit of some saving there. To be able to get to this Essential, because Essential brings you to a whole different level. And I would say that most sailors are going to fall into Essential, and I think that's fine, where you're going to have some changes allowed. You're going to have your 45 days before a sail date, and you're going to have your classic Wi-Fi. And I should go back to base. With the base, you're going to have basic Wi-Fi, which will allow you to browse the internet. It'll work. It's not going to be exciting. It's not going to be like your gigabit internet at home or in the office. But classic Wi-Fi is going to be around 2 times faster than that. So it's still going to be, one device per person, just like most of the plans are going to be across the board, except for Premium here, of course. But you're going to have the 45 days for sale date for pre-book dining, as I said, refundable as a credit. So up until a certain time, you'll be able to refund as a credit your voyage fare, and then some changes allowed. That's important because this has changed from what was the typical Sea Terrace booking. And in that case, you were able to change sailors 1 through 4 if there are 4 in the cabin. Of course, if there's not, it's sailors 1 through whatever number of sailors in the cabin. Now it's going to be 2 through 4. And there's a lot of reasons that this has happened, unfortunately, but it's just something to be mindful of. So if you're the primary sailor on a cabin, on an Essential cabin, or on a cabin period, this is where you might want to look at, okay, is there something going to come up? Do I need trip protection? I always say yes. Everybody needs trip protection, and that's can also help you with base. That's part of our waiver. Is if we're going to sell base to you or lock-in rate, you must be willing to take trip protection. And the same thing, with Essential, we're not going to require that, but it's important to have trip protection regardless of what tier you have. But with Essential, if you think that a primary sailor, if that's you or somebody else, might change, you're really going to want to have that trip protection to help there in the event of needing to cancel or what have you. Making sure, of course, that your travel protection covers the reason why you're canceling or can't attend or go on a cruise or whatever. That's super important to understand that too. I'm not a licensed insurance agent. I can't tell you which insurance company to go with or which package to select. I would just say look at the many, many great options out there. And we're glad to send quotes if you work with us, but we can't speak to the policies themselves. And then the last one here is Premium. And you'll see that the price jumps quite a bit, over $600 in this case. But where is that value coming from? I mean, priority support, you don't need that because you're going to have me or your first mate. Hopefully, you'll have a first mate. If you're working with one, that could be considered priority support. You do get a $15 drink credit per sailor per night. So in this case, it'd be $30 per night, 15 for 2 sailors. So you look at that for a 7-night cruise, and you're looking, at $210 in extra value right there. And then you look at most changes allowed. So you'll be able to change sailors 1 through 4 if applicable. If there's 4 sailors, if there's 2, 1 through 2, 1 and 2. 60 days before sail date for pre-booking dining. So that's going to give you great opportunity there, keeping in mind that that's going to be right after the Rockstar. And so you're going to be in really good shape there. And in Premium Wi-Fi, not only is it going to be faster, up to 5 times faster, as it is now, but you're also going to be able to use 2 devices per sailor. So if you have a smartphone and a tablet, if you're taking your laptop on vacation and you want to have it on your smartphone too, you'll be able to do that. And for a lot of folks, that's going to be the value in and of itself at less than $100 a day just for that Premium Wi-Fi, 632 divided by 7. just for the Wi-Fi. But then you take that 632 minus the 210 in drinks, and you're looking at $400 and something there. And then being able to get dining reservations earlier as well. There's a lot of good things in there. There's a lot of value, and I would push you, if your budget allows and you really want to make sure that you're covered from A to Z on many things. Or I wouldn't say it's A to Z. It's maybe A to S or T. Then look at that premium and go with that. But here's that elephant in the room that is so very important to talk about. And we're going to select I'm going to select the essential, because that's mostly what more of our sailors are going to do. You're going to have the ability to add your magic now, your voyage protection. And I would say, always compare voyage protection. To be clear, if you pay in full, you cannot add Virgin's voyage protection if you pay in full or after you paid in full. So if you're paying in full, you can add it now, and then you have a 10-day look back period. If you found another policy that you preferred later, or within that 10 days, you could get this refunded and be able to add that other one for sure. You can add your bar tab now. That's another video, another day, another video. We're going to just say no thanks on this. And then we're going to get here to the exciting part, gratuities. So if you just glaze over this and go to checkout, you're going to skip over this service gratuities, and you're going to be billed on board for $28 extra. So it's going to be $280 plus 28. So you're going to be billed $308 once you get on board. Here's the deal with gratuities, and you've probably seen, if you're watching any videos about Virgin Voyages right now, there's a little bit of confusion on this, but the understanding or the reality of it is that this VoyageFair, the 280 plus the 3220, if you would have booked this on October 6th, the day before the new pricing, the new VoyageFair came out, you would be looking at a very similar price with this 3220 plus 280, so 3,500 at that point, and that would have included gratuities. There's a lot of theories for why this is being broken out. I think transparency is one of them that is fine. I think that's okay to say we want people to see. There are folks that get on a board of Virgin Voyage and they don't know that gratuities included, or they think it's something that is like a fable, and it's not. It never was. But in this case, I would always recommend you prepay. Why? Because this goes directly to the staff. It goes directly to them. You're not having to add it on. You're not going to have tips and gratuities added on to drinks. If you, like with other cruise lines, they'll add 18% or whatever percentage to restaurants and to services and everything like that. This is just flat. That's going to cover everything as a service gratuity. It's an absolutely amazing thing. And again, you see this price, $3,500. This is very likely, pricing could have changed in the last few days, but it's very likely the same price you would have paid for a sea terrace cabin on October 6th, the day before this new launch. So I always recommend you prepay for that, because again, if you do this on board, you're going to have that 308 versus the 280 added to your sailing. And then you're going to have to go to sailor services. And I suspect the lines are going to be long for a while, because there's going to be a lack of understanding and this is new. There's always going to be a lack of understanding when something's new. It doesn't matter if it's the best thing ever. If everybody was given $1,000 in sailor loot, there's going to be a lack of understanding because it's new. It's just new, and it's going to be causing some lines and folks saying, "Hey, I didn't do this, and now I see it on my folio. I need to have this taken off or whatever." But I would say, again, make your cruise, make your Virgin Voyage experience just so much easier. Pre-book as much as you can. Pre-book your spa services 120 days in advance. Pre-book your restaurants, of course. Pre-book your bar tab, pre-book your excursions. Do all of those things before you get on board. You need to be able to have your mind in a place of relaxation when you get on board there. So definitely understand that. Fare breakdown. Again, what's included with Virgin Voyages? We know what's included with Virgin. You get your Wi-Fi, your dining, your entertainment, your fitness classes, soda, water, tea, drip coffee, etc. This is probably something that Virgin could probably do a little bit better with the soda and water messaging now. It does also include your drip coffee and your tea. Always will. I mean, 2 years from now, if you look back at this video and it doesn't, don't hold me accountable for that. But I'm very confident it will. But again, please just, consider this. understanding that this is the same price you would have paid on October 6th, very likely within a very small margin of error. So to recap, let's go back one more time here. Let's go back to the booking, to choosing a cabin, I should say. Going to the Sea Terrace. Go in here, looking at these options: base, essential, premium. At the very least, fall in the middle to essential. I would say act like this doesn't exist. And again, this is a harsh thing for me to say. If you don't have the budget to go from base to essential, don't book a cruise just on Virgin Voyages. And I wouldn't book a trip at all. I would say save up the extra money. Look where you can save the extra a little bit here. And I say a little bit with all due respect. I get that we are all on budgets. I get that things cost more. I understand that. And I'm with you. But I would say the value proposition between base and essential is so great that you just save up that extra money and wait to do that. From essential to premium, if you need that faster Wi-Fi, if you need the multiple devices and you like it's a little extra nice gesture, $15 a drink per sailor per night. If both sailors don't drink, then have sailor two. If they don't drink, have them go and scan their wristband and get you a drink, another drink. Take advantage of the $30. That's totally fine as long as they're wearing their wristbands and they're over getting the drink. That's totally fine. So if you have any questions, here's our website. So you come over here to CamJon Travel. We have a couple of wonderful things going on. We always have something going on here. We plan your Virgin voyage perfectly. From first click to final toast, we handle those details for you. We've been growing very, very nicely, and we're working with so many wonderful sailors, and I'm thankful to each and every one of you for working with us. I'm not an influencer. I have no aspirations to be. I do not believe in clickbait. You're not going to see me on board 15 sailings a year with Virgin Voyages, because that means I could not be giving you the time that you deserve as a sailor. So if you want to work with us, you have a couple of options. Through October 31st, 2025, we are offering $100. And I say $100 plus because our host agency partnership for many sailings has extra sailor loot. But at the very minimum, for any Sea Terrace cabin any cabin except for base and lock-in rates, any cabin, it could be an Insider, a Sea View, a Rockstar, whatever it might be, you're going to receive $100 guaranteed in sailor loot if you book by October 31st. You can book via Virgin Voyages with our link. Just go to CamJonTravel.com, click book via our link here, or you can click on contact us. It's going to take you to a form where you can reach out to us. If you need to celebrate something, we're happy to put together a birthday party, an anniversary, honeymoon, or you can join our webinar too. I wasn't going to mention that in the video, but if you see this pop up, we are giving away a $50 gift card, Amazon gift card, on October 21st. So if you see this video before then you can certainly go here and enter to join the webinar, join it live, be there live, ask any questions of me or of Angela from Virgin Voyages. She'll be there with me, and we'll be talking about Virgin Voyages, and you can reserve your spot here when that pop up. And I'll put a link in the description as well. Or if you have something more detailed, like I was talking about with celebrations, etc., come here. This is a longer form. You're going to be able to put in a lot more information, how you want to talk. We can have phone calls, text, email, video, talk about best times and so on. Take our perfect cruise quiz, because that's important for us as well to understand if you're a fit for Virgin. If you're not a fit for Virgin, we're not going to sell it to you. That's not how we work. We don't try to just slam and cram cruises down everybody's throat because we want to make a sale. That's not us at all. If we don't think you're a fit, we're going to tell you that, and we'll direct you in a better place for you to take your vacation. And that may be to do with the base rate. We might think, okay, do you really want to pay the base rate? And then you're on board and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done something else. That's not the vacation I would want. And I don't think that's the vacation anybody else would want as well. So we're going to wrap this up. If you like this video, you know the drill. I'm not going to be that influencer, but I'm going to say this. Please like this, subscribe, leave a comment, reach out to us at CamJonTravel.com. I'm so proud to be a first mate. I love Virgin Voyages. Again, we're not on board all the time. We're on board just enough to know exactly what we're talking about. I'm here for you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.